The spirit of rejection is so tricky because if you do not deal with it, it will deal with you. And what it's going to do is it's going to make you self-absorbed, self-centered, and it's going to lead you to self-idolatry. The way that works is because people who are rejected are often very, very easy to offend, easily offendable. They're constantly looking for affirmation and they take everything personally. So what they're thinking, how they're feeling, how something made them feel, every interaction, they make everything about them. So their mind and their emotions, all of that becomes the primary lens for life, and everything is about them and how they feel. They're constantly overanalyzing every interaction and constantly looking for offense. He'll take those, lie to you in your mind, and reinforce the fact that you are rejected and that you're not wanted. So you're always looking for evidence around you that you are rejected. That is insane.
And it typically comes in from rejection from the mother or rejection from the father. In many cases, it comes into the womb. For example, you get the news from your doctor that you're pregnant with a little girl, and you immediately feel disappointment. This opens the door for the spirit of rejection to enter into your womb. Here's the first sign that you deal with the spirit of rejection. You love hard. You have a tendency to exalt people over yourself and God. Remember, the Bible says, guard your heart, for out of it pours the issues of life. You don't do that. The passcode to your heart is 000, meaning any thief can get in if he got dimples and teeth, or at minimum, a pulse. Someone who loves hard has trouble letting go. This is because they have a tendency to jump into the future in their heads. In other words, they can see their future with that person, even though they barely know the person. Number 3, at the end of a relationship or the threat of a relationship ending, you start dealing with ideation. In other words, you'd rather die than be alone. That's not just rejection, that's idolatry. Number 4, you discard people the minute you sense that they're about to discard you. People who deal with the spirit of rejection can be amazing in the beginning of a relationship, and they will go really hard for the relationship. Just like they fought hard to get you, in many cases, they can get rid of you equally as easy. They fight really hard to fix the relationship while they're in it. In the beginning stages, that is. Because they're not trying to keep you from messing up. They're literally trying to avoid getting over you. Because they know that once they're over you, there's nothing you can say or do to change their minds. Number 5, your success or your desire for success is fueled by vengeance. That's okay. They walked away from me. They persecuted me. They wouldn't allow me to be a part of their clique. They broke it off with me. They cheated on me. So you know what? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to make it. I'm going to have the money, the house, the cars. And then everybody that hurt me will regret ever walking away from me. Number 6, you often think people don't like you. Remember I said the spirit of rejection is a spirit of torment. It'll tell you that this person doesn't like you. This person has changed their mind about you in an attempt to get you to sabotage the relationship.
Today's video is very, very important. It is 10 signs that the spirit of rejection is tormenting you. It is holding you back, and we're going to dissect it and break it down, and we're going to talk about how to be delivered from that. Can you even spot that you're struggling with the spirit of rejection? But before we get into all that, first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Karina's with Mental Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. The spirit of rejection is intense, is basically what it says in the name. Like, you constantly feel rejected in life, not just in relationships, but in life, period. Like, you got a bad end of the stick. And it can come from childhood traumas, a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of wasted years too, or just a spirit of you were compared when you were younger. You've always felt less than, you grew up probably bullied in a toxic environment, etc. There's lots of reasons for the spirit of rejection.
What is the spirit of rejection? The spirit of rejection is an oppressive spirit. It is the very same spirit that robs people of their joy, peace, even opportunities. That causes people to feel, number 1, worthless, number 2, unwanted. The spirit of rejection is generational, meaning it can be passed down in the bloodline or family line. The spirit of rejection will cause people to feel left out, and not because they want to be included, but you will sit there and trust me, you will always feel left out. You will always feel or always think that people are saying something bad about you. Because once the spirit of rejection takes over you, it will make you feel like people don't even give you a fair chance. It will make you feel like people cut you off or count you out before you even began. The spirit of rejection is the one that is responsible for depression, anxiety, doubt, and addiction. And you know that this spirit is at work in your life when your own people, when your own family members start rejecting you. I'm not talking about people not including you or involving you in certain things, because sometimes people have valid reasons why they are not including you, and you yourself, you know that, you know what, yeah, I understand. But I'm talking about things that are not making sense, where your own mother, your own father will hate you. And whenever this spirit really wants to deal with you, guess what it does? It separates you from people. You don't want to be around people. You hate being around people. That's because it operates like that. It separates you from people so that it can deal with you, so that it can destroy you.
But here's one of the signs is you find yourself comparing your circumstances or situations with others, and you never seem to measure up. You're always comparing yourself with others, and you can't quite measure up. Like, if you look, it could just be having a wonderful day. You look in the mirror, you look great, you got your makeup out, you've been out, you feel great, and then boom, you see another pretty woman, and you're looking like, oh, she's really pretty. I bet my husband or my boyfriend or whatever probably would find this type of woman very attractive. And you start to compare yourself like, I'm pretty too. Yeah, I look good, but I don't look like her. I mean, she's insanely gorgeous. Look at her hair, look at her body. Like, you start to do that. Or if it's like money situation, you just bought your nice car. You happy with your car. It's what you can afford. It's your first little, maybe you got a Jaguar or you got a Lexus, whatever. You're very, very proud of your car. You've worked hard. You saved for it. And it's something that you can afford that's within your means. And then you see another guy driving by and then you're like, oh, they're in that G-Wagon. It's chocolate outside and white interior. Now you feel like your car doesn't measure up. And it's like, I'm so behind in life. I should be in a G-Wagon. I should be in this. Like, my Lexus is, and Creole always say "las," meaning lame. It's lame now. Look at what car I'm driving in. Or you just bought your nice little apartment, you're furnishing it, and maybe you're just looking through home decors on YouTube, whatever you're watching, AD and all those, and you're comparing your apartment. Every time you measure what you have, the comparison game too, it's like you can never give yourself props and you never measure up. Everyone always seems to just have it better than you somehow that you compare yourself to. The other sign is too, you feel like you missed out on life's opportunities and now it's too late. Especially if maybe you could be old. The spirit of rejection is, and a lot of women who's older, it's like, okay, I'm not married yet. Okay, my best years are kind of gone. I'm getting a little old, especially if you listen to these podcasts. They'll have you believe that, older women don't get married or whatever. And you start to, maybe if you're a guy, you go through a midlife crisis and you're like, that's what happens with midlife crisis with these men, and they buy motorcycles or get tattoos and do that. It's like, I ran out of time to accomplish all that I should have accomplished. Like, I am a failure. Everything that I ever wanted to do now, it's too late for me. The chance is gone. And you look at the younger generation, like, let me tell you, no. It's never too late. There's people that are in their 80s that go back to school, that make something of themselves, that become millionaires in their 50s, 60s. It's never too late. There's women that are getting married in their 50s and 60s also. It's never too late. It's never too late for anything. I understand, with bearing children and things like that, that can do that. But an intensity with it is to feel like your years are wasted and there's no time. And I want you to know, especially from the Christian perspective, God is the author of time, okay? God can work miracles. He is the author of time. And as long as you have faith, you're never behind if you just give it to Him. and know that, hey, I rebuke the spirit of rejection that's making me feel like, okay, everyone who's 30 already bought their first house. I'm about to creep up and be 30 and I'm still without my first house, or still living with my parents, or I'm still in my first apartment. I'm still having a roommate. I can't even live alone, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're thinking all these negative thoughts. Like, I'm so behind for my age and everyone is progressing in advance. And look at me, look at where I'm at. That the third thing is no amount of encouragement is enough to convince you of your worth. You can have friends that are lifting you up, giving you props, your man, your husband, your wife, whatever. They're like, oh, you're the best looking guy, you're the best looking woman, and your friends, you're doing great, you're where you at. Like, all the motivation in the world is not going to make you feel like it's enough. You're still looking at yourself like you're not enough, you ran out of time, you're not doing enough. Where are you? Like, that whole comparison in life. No amount of motivation is enough. No amount of people talking you up, bigging you up is enough. You don't even believe it for yourself. You can look in the mirror and hype yourself up and don't believe a single thing that you're saying in the mirror. It's not enough. That is a spirit of rejection. And it's a real spirit. It's a real spirit that you have to rebuke and pray away, that God removes from you guys. All these things are spirits that come to steal our joy, to steal our self-esteem, to steal our confidence, to keep us in that delayed era, to block our blessings. These are real spirits that we have to fight against, okay? Number 4 is you feel rejected if you are not greeted or acknowledged by leadership. If you go into a room and you feel like the most powerful people in the room don't say hi to you, don't acknowledge you, or don't talk to you, you feel unimportant, you feel like, I want to leave here, or you're in the corner sulking about it. People with the spirit of rejection, be careful, because they can have an arrogance appearance. They can appear like they're very arrogant, but they're very insecure, arrogant in the sense that they take up the room. Everyone must talk to them. Everyone must be their friend. And if they feel rejected by people of power or anyone in the room really that just doesn't acknowledge their greatness or say hi to them or bow down or looks like they don't want to talk to them, then you feel a type of way, like you don't belong and you need to leave. And what's their problem? Why didn't they jealous? They're hating. They're this. It's that spirit of rejection that you were rejected when you were a child. You felt rejected, that you take everything personally. Someone probably couldn't see. You know how many times I don't see someone because I don't have my glasses? They're like miles away. They're saying hi to me. I don't even see. I don't have my glasses. I can't even see who's talking to me. And then the person now feels away, like Corrine act like she couldn't say hi. I didn't even see you. Sometimes that's the case. Or someone can look dead at you and they're not even seeing you. Like they're seeing through you because they're zoned out. They have their own problems, their own stuff that they're going through. Life is hard, okay? So they're zoned out. They don't even see you. You can't be mad at stuff like that, right? Next, number 5 is you constantly seek the approval of others and suffer from people pleasing. A lot of people that suffer with the spirit of rejection suffered from people pleasing. I did a video on the disease to please. Oh man, I'll pin that in the comments. I did several videos on just people pleasing in general that I think you guys would love, because I did used to suffer with that and I didn't realize that I suffered with the spirit of rejection. Although I'm pretty timid, like I'm not in your face, because yes, a lot of people that suffer with the spirit of rejection can be outgoing in your face and super arrogant and stuff like that to suck up the room. And then there's people with the spirit of rejection, because every case is not the same. It's very shy and timid, like they want to be acknowledged, but they're not gonna put themselves out there. They'd rather be in their corner, and sometimes they don't want to be acknowledged per se, but it's the people that they know like that. Like, if I don't know you, please leave me alone. But if I know you and it looks like you walk by me and it's potentially didn't say hi, they internalize that, right? That's part of people pleasing. And the internalization comes from feeling like, I'm not good enough. Why didn't they say hi to me? They must be embarrassed by me. Is my outfit not nice or whatever? I must be lame now. I'm not popular enough for them to say. All these thoughts come into your head, comes from the spirit of rejection and the people pleasing. Then something must be wrong with you because this person did not acknowledge you. You must have did something wrong. You must have pissed them off, or you've fallen from grace and this person no longer respects you. Why don't they want to hang out anymore? They don't call you. They don't check up on you. I'm not cool enough anymore. So you try to buy people by trying to be cool enough. But no, it doesn't work that way. If people find other people that's cool enough for them to go to, let them go. Let them go. That's how you have to see it. I used to be that person where, if a friend or somebody just start talking to me or this, they found cooler friends or they this. Okay, It doesn't even have to mean that. It's just your season, and people's lives can be over. Just like people's season in your life is over a lot. Like, you don't want to talk to the same people all the time that you talked to in your past, that now you're living a different life. It just doesn't work out. Is it something personal with them? No, nothing personal. But hey, I'm just in a different direction. And maybe that person is going in a different direction than you. Maybe they're going up and doing all that and you're complacent, or maybe vice versa. You're going up a little too much and they're not there yet, so they just kind of like go where they're still fitting in, and you go where you're still fitting in. Everything is not personal, but people pleasing is definitely a sign of the rejection, because you feel like you have to please people, win their affection, win their love by being a people pleaser so that you can not be rejected. Next thing is number 6 is you are easily offended or embarrassed from discipline or correction. You hate when people correct you, even in private. Someone can correct you in private. You cannot take criticism. You're embarrassed by it. You're like, why did you have to say that? You can't just say thank you. Oh my goodness. I thank the Lord that He removed all of those things from me, because I used to struggle with all of these things, like as I'm repeating it. But it's like, oh my goodness, I praise God. Just having flashbacks of times I just would not take correction from people. Even if I knew I was in the wrong, I would not adjust. I'd just be so argumentative, like, what do you know, whatever. And it just doesn't work that way. Sometimes there are people that are rude, and I tend to just ignore that. Like, if someone want to give advice, if they're rude about it or whatever, something I could tweet you in my videos or whatever, just ignore it. But back in the days, it would stay with me. It would, oh my goodness, torment me, because that spirit of rejection. But once the Lord starts to work on you, you just see it like, okay, whatever. You ignore the rudeness, but you take the message and then you keep it moving. You don't internalize it. You forget the comment or even the person. Like, I don't know you. You forget, right? But someone that suffers with the spirit of rejection doesn't like public reproach, correction, doesn't even like it in private. Your spouse cannot give you no advice. You're the type to beat your kids because they correct you. And they could be doing it respectfully, like, Mom, you told us not to lie, but you lied to Auntie today. Girl, pa, 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 pa. That's crazy. That is crazy. Spirit of rejection is that no one can give you advice. No one can give you like correction. Even if you're dating someone, they're like, sis, don't tell me nothing. The more people try to give you advice, the more you fight it and go the opposite way, and you get embarrassed by it. Because why is that? I can't fully understand why that is just a trait with people that is being tormented with the spirit of rejection. Is like, we feel like we want to be perfect and we want to be liked, and you correcting us is you highlighting that we're not perfect, that we're not always right, and something is wrong with us, and therefore you have rejected us for being wrong because you corrected us. But you got to understand, people correcting you does not mean that they're abandoning you or they don't love you or they're rejecting you. Like the Lord says, He corrects whom He loves. I put the Bible verse up for you guys. It should be that same way. Like, if I have a best friend or a family member or a spouse, a partner that I love, I'm correcting you because I love you. If I give you advice, if I give you approach, it's like people that suffer with the spirit of rejection also. I could do a video like this and they're suffering with it and they're not trying to fix themselves. They're annoyed by stuff like this. It's like, whatever. They don't want to hold themselves accountable or want to be corrected because of that spirit of rejection, because you're implying that something is wrong with me. And I've already felt this growing up, like something is wrong with me. I cannot handle it. So they get upset or embarrassed by it. And you have to be a little bit more patient when someone is dealing with the spirit of rejection, because it's not that they can't take your criticism, it's that they're internalizing it to mean that, okay, sis, this shoes don't necessarily go with the top. No, it's not that it's bad advice that the shoes don't go with the top. It's that, okay, because I'm not wearing the right shoes at the top, something's wrong. Oh my goodness, fashion faux pas. This person don't like me. I'm being rejected. They're taking it personal. You just got to be patient with people like that. Number 7 is you are always trying to prove yourself in public. Always got to be right. You got to, have a response for everything. You got to defend your honor. Always trying to defend yourself in public. People cannot, that's just how it is, right? They got to get the last word. They got to get the last laugh, etc. It's not them. It's like in public, It's that people pleasing. You got to see me as perfect. You have to, so that you don't reject me, so that you can like me. Let me show you how great I am. So they're always defending themselves. They're always proving themselves, proving that they are wealthy, proving that they are beautiful, proving that they are funny, proving that they are popular, doing the most to get attention, to showcase. Like, they always got something to prove. They're not in the corner. People that usually deal with the spirit of rejection, they're not chill in the corner, humble, not worried. They're usually very loud, want to be seen. And even if they're in the corner, they might not be talking, but they dress in a way, move in a way, talk in a way when it is their time to show you that they are proving something. They might be quiet in a corner, but they're a way that, subtly they're trying to prove to you that they're elegant. When you don't care, like when you are free from the spirit of rejection, you really could care less and you're just yourself. You're a little bit more calm, right? Number 8 is you feel like you are on the outside looking in during interactions with people. You always feel left out. You feel out of the loop, even if you're included. Like, you could be in a setting, in a restaurant with a group of people eating. You are invited there, but you're still looking like you feel left out. And again, you try to prove that you belong, which is why they always try to prove themselves in public. You try to join in conversations, or you can't have a quiet moment. You try to keep talking or whatever. You always feel left out of every situation, even when you're not left out. Like, you're present. Why do you feel left out when you're present, right? You always feel like an outsider looking in, whether it's in your family. You feel like you're not part of the joke, or you're not part of the community. You're left out. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's true. You are left out, but 9 out of 10 times it's in your head, and you'll know if it's true or not. I did several videos on friendships and stuff like that here too, especially on my psychology and mental health playlist. Check that out. But 9 out of 10 times it's in your head. If you were invited somewhere, you're there, don't automatically think the worst, because that's another thing. People with the spirit of rejection think the worst of everything. They jump to the worst scenario. They don't give the benefit of the doubt for anything. They always feel like, okay, this is what it really is. I know I'm invited, but there's ulterior motives. They're always suspicious and feel like there's ulterior motives for everything that everyone does. Number 9 is you think you could do a better job than a current leader or teacher if you are given an opportunity. They do think that they are better than. It's like crazy, because how can you be so cocky and arrogant? The spirit of rejection is a complicated one, because it's like you're so insecure. How can you be so insecure but so cocky at the same time? You're so insecure that you overthink everything. You think people are leaving you out and this and that, and people don't care. You're fighting for people's approval, but at the same time, you think that you're better than everybody else, because, like, I could do a better job teaching than this person, or I could have done a better job doing this person's hair or figuring this out. Like, you're better at things, right? And why is that? It's just, again, trying to prove yourself, trying to prove that you're worth something. It's for your own self. You need to feel like you're worth something. You need to feel like you're good at something. You need to feel like you're better. And it's not just that you're proving, you got something to prove to others, but you have something to prove to yourself. So it's like, I could be the better teacher. I could be the better parent. I could be everything is a competition everywhere you are, but it's for yourself to prove, to make you, to numb that feeling of rejection. You need to be the best. You need to be better than everyone else at this specific thing, just so you can numb and quiet down that spirit of rejection that you're feeling with. It's so crazy, right? It's so insane. Number 10 is you believe no one understands you or what you are going through. Like, no one can relate. I'll just keep it to myself. Y'all can't understand or whatever. I'm just dealing with this. Woe is me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. When 9 out of 10 times, no experience is really unique in the world, as social media shows us. We don't really have unique experiences. I have learned that through the years that there is no unique experience. So there's, of course, a lot of people that go through the same thing as you, and that probably will understand, find your community. But there's this isolation situation that people with the spirit of rejection does. That spirit leads you to isolate yourself, to feel like you're different than everybody else. And this is why you stay in that spirit of rejection. I'm rejected because I'm different. People don't think like me. They don't understand me. They don't get me. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on like this. I'm different. Like, no one's like me. Whether you say that to yourself, like, if you're a people pleaser, I'm more giving than everybody else. How many people pleasers are there? That's why there's the term people pleaser. There's books written on it. There's therapy for it, because there's so many of us out there. You're not unique. There's a lot of givers out there. There's a lot of people that are great people. There's a lot of people that will do a better job than you. and whatever current thing that they're doing. You're not the best at everything. There's always someone better than you, and no experience is unique. And the sooner you realize that and just say, hey, let me live this life, experiencing my life in the moment, in the present, without all this comparison, the need to prove anything, without all this spirit of rejection. But I find my acceptance to Christ, which is the other thing. You have to find your acceptance to Christ. I'm always going to go back to Christ, right? It's not until I found Christ and we started building our intimate relationship with each other, because we are in relationship with each other, that all these spirits, the spirit of rejection, the spirit of people pleasing, spirit of delay, all these things have slowly, he just drained me of them, to be like, you don't have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove. If I boast in Christ. That's it. But I have nothing to prove to no one. If I walk into a room, you don't say hi to me, I don't take it personally, I move on. Guess what? I'm going to wake up the next day and still live. It is what it is, right? You don't take nothing personally. Someone give you a criticism. Thank you, Lord. You brought that to me. Let me see what I can take from this criticism to better myself, instead of being offended or instead of going back and forth with the person. Call it a day, right? Even if they're rude, you understand I'm not fighting against flesh. I'm fighting against spirits and principalities. I'm not going to take offense to what you just said. It's not you. It's the enemy trying to discourage me. You know how many times I do videos here and I'll find comments that come and try to discourage me or say certain things, and guess what? I know the enemy. I know the work that the Lord put in my heart to do. And I know that the enemy will always try to battle it out with me. So therefore, I take it not personal. But if I was still living in the spirit of rejection, it would have stopped me from uploading, stopped me from posting. There's so many great content creators that stopped posting in the same frequency that they were posting in because of comments like that. The enemy sent people to discourage them, to insult them, to get them out of their bodies. It's that spirit of rejection. And I'm telling you, gotta ignore it. Like, live in your purpose, whatever you're doing, and understand that spirit cannot have control over you. And you will be a tough warrior when you can look and say, hey, it don't matter what you say, what you do. And then also a bonus thing I say with the spirit of rejection is that you don't feel like you're good enough for the blessings that you have. If it's a spouse, you never feel like you're good enough for your spouse. You're always trying to tweak yourself. You just got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Oh my goodness, let me go lose weight. Let me do this. You're always trying to modify yourself to fit into that person because you don't feel like you deserve them, or you're good enough, or you're pretty enough, or you're smart enough, or you whatever. Like, you're not enough. They're going to find somebody else. You live in that constant spirit of fear that they're going to find somebody else because of that spirit of rejection. You don't know your self-worth and your value and your confidence. And you have to lean into Christ, to therapy, journaling, prayer. Oh my goodness. So much of this to build back your confidence. Work on yourself for you. When people keep saying lose the weight for you, work on yourself for you, that is real. And I'm preaching to myself. That is real. Do not do it for nobody else. Because when God gives you who he's going to give you, you cannot live in that spirit of fear that they're going to get somebody better. I'm not good enough. That spirit of fear, all of this. No, if God gave you that person, you are enough for them. They are enough for you. You have to stop living in that sphere. You have the job, then you have imposter syndrome. I did a video on imposter syndrome as well. What is it? But you have that imposter syndrome, like you don't deserve this job. You try to overprove yourself. You try to prove yourself so much. I feel like you're better than, and you are the most capable for something because you really truly don't believe that you deserve it. You don't feel like you deserve it. So you're overworking for it. Anything good you sabotage that comes your way. Anything good you sabotage that comes your way because you don't feel like you deserve anything good in life. You don't deserve the nice house, the nice wedding, the nice kids, the nice car. You don't deserve the money. You don't deserve the beauty. You don't deserve the weight loss. You don't deserve joy. You don't deserve peace. Something's wrong with you that you feel like you've been rejected all your life. Something is wrong with you and you don't deserve no good thing. So you sabotage it, or you try to take it by force and prove that you deserve it when you are enough. You are enough. You are always enough. You are always enough. Your childhood is making you believe that you're not. God loves you just the way you are. You are enough. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. And you know that song, Jireh, you are enough. You are Jireh. You are enough. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. And that is enough. That song came at a time for me where it was like God speaking to me like, Kareem, you are enough. You've always been enough. He's enough for me. Because he's enough for me, I'm enough for myself. He loves me just the way that I am, that I'm enough. There's nothing more that I have to do. There's nothing more that I have to become or prove. The only person I have to prove anything to is God. That's it. You are always enough. You will always be enough. If you're going to work and elevate, do it for yourself. Do it for God. But don't do it to prove yourself to men. Okay? But this is all I have to say for this video. If you watch until the end, I don't know how, because it's pretty bright while the sun is going down. But leave a green heart. I don't know if you can see. It's like a pastel green. But leave a green heart in the comments, or some flower emojis in the comments, so I know that you watched until the end. And I truly do really, like, I've gotten to speak to you guys in the comments. I recognize some of you guys, found you guys, some of you guys found me through Instagram. Like, I really, really love you guys. Like, everyone that watched that. This channel is beyond me. Is beyond me. Like, when I get on here, literally, like, Lord, speak to your people, speak to whoever needs it. It's beyond me, because I truly love you guys, and I really need you to remove that spirit of rejection and rebuke it and cling to the Lord and have the Lord cling to you, because it is holding you back and you have nothing to prove. If that's one message you stumbled upon this video, it's not an accident. I pray over all of my subscribers. Every video I pray over, that the Lord sends it to who it needs to be sent to. It's not an accident that the Lord wants you to know that you are enough and that you've always been enough. I need you to go listen to the song Jireh by Maverick City. It's called Jireh. And if you believe in the Lord, you haven't heard it before, I just want to remind you that you are enough and you have always been enough, and God is enough too, and you have nothing to prove. And I claim that all the spirit of rejection is just removed from your life. It's removed from your life, and you have peace and confidence in the Lord, and you don't have to prove nothing to no one. You can go sit and not take any criticism personally, and sit and not look for attention. You don't have nothing to prove. You are enough. Okay? I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Until next time.